On January 19, a wave of debate swept through the cultural world, sparked by news involving a familiar name from K-pop and Korean drama. Soohyun, a member of Girls' Generation and now an established actress, was announced as a guest performer with an orchestra, only about 5 months after beginning her violin studies. What might have been a simple announcement of a crossover performance quickly ignited controversy. Some voices within the classical music community accused the project of being special treatment, questioning whether such an opportunity would ever be offered to an unknown student or a non-celebrity. The criticism spread rapidly online, framed as a defense of fairness and tradition. Yet not everyone agreed with this rigid interpretation of classical standards. Among those who spoke out was organist Young Suk, a musician with a strong academic and professional background. A graduate of Yonsei University, Young later earned her degree in Germany, immersing herself deeply in European classical traditions. Today, she works as an adjunct lecturer while remaining active as a performer. Her response came not as a press release, but through Instagram, in answer to questions from followers. Rather than avoiding controversy, she confronted it directly. She openly admitted that she has long felt discomfort with the excessively conservative atmosphere of the classical music world. To her, the outrage itself was puzzling. "I honestly don't understand what the problem is," she said, in words that resonated far beyond her immediate audience. Young emphasized a key detail often ignored in heated discussions. The orchestra performing with Soohyun is not a top-tier professional ensemble, but an amateur orchestra. This fact, she argued, fundamentally changes the nature of the criticism. She also highlighted the effort Soohyun has reportedly invested into her preparation. Learning an instrument, especially the violin, demands physical endurance, mental focus, and emotional resilience. Doing so under public scrutiny only amplifies that pressure. To Young, dedicating such effort purely out of interest and passion deserves recognition, not ridicule. Even as a hobby, she suggested, this level of commitment is admirable. She went further, addressing the broader cultural implications. Soohyun's participation could act as a bridge, drawing new audiences toward classical music. In a genre often perceived as distant or elitist, accessibility matters. Familiar faces can serve as invitations rather than threats. Young then touched on a principle she sees as unavoidable in the arts: demand and supply. Art does not exist in a vacuum. Concert halls survive not only on ideals, but on audiences. Clinging to the idea that only one pure path is acceptable, she argued, belongs to another era. Calling such thinking outdated, she challenged the notion that legitimacy comes from tradition alone. She also praised Soohyun's courage. Standing on the stage of Lotte Concert Hall is no small feat. The psychological pressure of performing in such a space can overwhelm even trained musicians. Facing that challenge as someone transitioning into the classical realm requires remarkable nerve. Young warned against belittling the efforts of others simply because their path looks different. Comparison, she implied, often masks insecurity rather than protecting values. The following day, she addressed another critical point. Media headlines repeatedly emphasized that Soohyun had only been playing the violin for 5 months. Young called this wording misleading. What should be said, she explained, is that Soohyun had been preparing specifically for this collaboration for 5 months. The difference is subtle, yet crucial. Preparation for performance involves focused training, coaching, and rehearsal beyond casual practice. Reducing it to a simplistic timeline distorts reality. Young argued that collaborations like this should happen more often, not less. Crossing boundaries can revitalize art forms that risk stagnation. The upcoming performance is scheduled for March 13. It will take place at Lotte Concert Hall during the Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra's 8th regular concert. Soohyun is set to perform Sardas, by Vittorio Monti, a piece known for its dramatic flair and technical demands. Her agency has stated that her goal is not perfection, but sincerity. They describe the performance as an attempt to convey pure passion rather than mastery. This framing reframes the entire debate. At its core, the controversy asks a simple question: is classical music a guarded fortress, or a living, breathing art form? Young Suk's answer is clear. Art grows when it opens its doors. Talent takes many forms, and effort deserves respect regardless of origin. In defending Soohyun, she ultimately defended something larger. The idea that tradition should inspire, not imprison. And that music, before anything else, exists to be shared.